All right, everybody. Welcome to the Booked for Friday. Um, sorry, we had some technical difficulties. But would it be our show if it wasn't some sort of tech? I mean, um, I am joined tonight by Kesh Butler as my co-host. Say hi, Kesh.
Hi, everybody.
And we have two amazing authors that I've got to hang out with for like the past hour that are absolutely a delight. So we have up in the top corner next to Kesh, uh, Alfred Mueller, and we have below him Hollis Joe McCollum. Okay, when it comes to nicknames, I'm like,
You got it.
got it. Um, and we're going to start off really quick tonight, um, with Alfred because you're up top. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you write and either your current work in progress that will be out soon or something that you just released.
I'm an author of urban fantasy. I dabble in the gothic and scary supernatural vibes. Um, I've been writing since as long as I can remember, but I hated reading when I was a kid, so I never put the desire to write as a career I ever thought I would do. I've been published since 2022. And like I said, mainly urban fantasy. I deal a lot with the supernatural as far as like afterlife, heaven and hell, monsters, and then I have a book 4 in my main series, the Water Crystal series. It is coming out hopefully in August. It will complete the quartet. And it was originally a single spiral notebook that I had started writing when I was 18. And now that spiral notebook has become 4 books. And I'm super excited to get ready to put out that 4th book.
Awesome sauce. Um, Real quick, we will also ask you this at the end of the show. Where can people find your books?
So I'm available on Amazon, Kindle, Kindle Unlimited. Book 1 and 2 are on Audible, saving up. So definitely getting those sales up to record book 3 and 4. And then I have a PayHip, which is part of my link tree on my TikTok account.
Cool beans. Over to you.
Over to me.
Yeah.
So I think our videos are in a different order on my
order.
So hi, I'm Hollis Joe McCollum. I just go by Hollis, but I publish under my full name. And I write 2 different fantasy book series, the Rashawn series and the Lost Beacon Chronicles. Rashawn is epic dark fantasy with a little bit of romantic subplots, only when appropriate though. And the Lost Beacon Chronicles is historical dark fantasy with lots of trigger warnings because I'm a historian by degree and I'm really honest about what happens. So yeah, but they still have 5 stars. So yay. My most recent release is The Key, which is I have the Rashawn trilogy has been out for a while. But The Key is the first book in the next trilogy in the Rashawn series, the Histories trilogy, where we go back and dig into some of the historical events that were mentioned in the original trilogy and talk about what actually happened.
Hell yeah. I mean, quite literally, being able to have that backstory of how it all went down. For me, I think that's the favorite part from a reader's.
Well, again, historian, so like I'm always thinking about that, and I'm a big world builder. I actually teach a fantasy world building workshop, and I dig into map making, religion, climate, the whole. I created a calendar for this world, and I front loaded in all of my books, so you get all the calendar, the timeline, the graphics, the full page maps. All that, because I'm also the designer of everything, so I can draw as much as I want.
You said you do historical fiction too?
A historical dark fantasy, so it's set in actual, like, inspired by actual events in history and sort of taking a place in alternate Earth, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's set in that, and then and it starts. My specialization was the ancient Etruscans of Italy. For my degree, it was secondary specialization in medieval England, but mostly early medieval. But the first book, the origin story of that, starts with the downfall of the Etruscan Empire, and the Etruscans, though I make them into a fantasy race called the Docvens that have magic and all these other things. But historically, the Etruscans were actually the ones who built Rome. The Romans were a bunch of sheep herders. And then the Etruscans taught them how to make fire and build the Colosseum and the aqueducts and all of those things. That's Etruscan technology. The Roman road system, Etruscan. It's all theirs. But then the Romans decided they didn't like the culture clash, because the Etruscans actually believed in equality, and Romans do not like women. So they genocided them because there were more of them. And the first book takes place talking about things from the Etruscan perspective or the Docven perspective during that genocide. So yeah, that's the origin story. And then the main character is cursed to become immortal. How, I won't tell you why. And she wanders the earth in the Lost Beacon Chronicles, going through these stages of grief. And the next book takes place during 43 AD, the Roman conquest of Britain. She's again on the losing side with the Cadvulani, the British tribes. And that's called Ignited because she goes from depression into anger. And that one's fun. So I love to write that series, but it's less palatable than my Rashawn series.
I mean, my father was a historian. He was a history teacher, so I kind of got like a whole lot of like books in
Oh,
the other room that are left from him that are like historical fiction and stuff like that. So it's his favorite was Men in the High Castle, the one that got made into a Amazon series.
I remember that. Yeah. I never saw the series, but I do know the books. That was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, they are very good. So always love anything historical.
Yes, yes. Good company.
I don't know, personally, I'm still stuck in the Henry VIII, uh, along with, Elizabeth I. You know, that is my wheelhouse of information. Also, anything to deal with, Charlotte and Henry, or not Henry, George III,
Okay, yeah.
and not just what we get from Bridgerton. I'm like, I actually did the studying behind it. Um, and, Marie Antoinette. Like,
Mm,
uh, I went through this whole phase called the Disgraced Queens,
yeah.
and found out that they were just the frickin' scapegoat.
Most of the time.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, with that, okay, so how do people find your stuff?
So I'm available everywhere. I am, of course, available via Amazon, but I'm also on the Ingram list. So I am available in India, in the Philippines, and Japan, wherever you want. I will tell for everyone, if an author is on the Ingram list, meaning that they publish through Ingram Spark as well, then they are international anyway, and you as readers can go into any bookstore on the planet and just say, hey, can you order this book for me? And they'll do it. And that's awesome because you not only support the indie author, but then you're also supporting your local bookshop. So I always like to strongly consider people to, or encourage people to go into your local, like, bookshop that's not a big chain, and just say, hey, I want to order this book from you, and do that.
Okay,
100%. Yeah.
awesome stuff. Um, Kesh, you want the first question, or you want me to go ahead and do it?
Why don't you go ahead and lead?
Okay, now here comes the fun stuff. I start with this question with every single one of the authors. We're gonna start with Alfred first, and then Hollis, and then when Kesh asks the question, it'll go to Hollis first, and then that way we just keep it rotating. Um, what have you researched for one of your books? that probably has you on a watch list?
I've researched just about every occult or dangerous book, from like the Necronomicon to the Codex Gigas and all of those. So I'm sure if anybody's looking for who's trying to summon a demon from hell, I'm on that watch list.
Sure, sure. I've heard, though I have heard Girl Scout cookies will just get them faster, like,
That's a fair point.
particularly
Cool.
cinnamon.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, Hollis?
As I said in my historical fiction, there's a lot of fighting. And I actually am a trained fighter. I know how to use a sword. I was a martial artist for a while, and I'm out of practice now, but I still know what I'm doing. But a lot of things about like what's the fastest way to kill someone, and all of these little like fighting like in poisoning and those things. Definitely have a lot of the violence has been on a watch list. Checking to see, "Oh, would you hit that organ though at this
Mm.
angle?" Yes. Yes, I would.
I had to explain, because I do dev editing, uh, when anybody needs it, and I turned around and looked at one author and I said, "You do realize that a katana will not stab like that, right?"
Mm,
And I said, "And you're not going to hit the lung and the heart at that angle, right?"
yep, and you always have to assume that that you will not all your readers, but at least a few of your readers are going to have that knowledge. So you gotta do your research.
Right.
Even if you're not somebody who knows yourself, you gotta do it because
Y
like even just
The
somebody who knows
believability.
basic anatomy is gonna be like, "Wait, wait, 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 wait."
Right. There's a certain level of believability that we have to keep in our
Mhm.
book. And everybody's like, "Well, it's our world." No, no, once you've released it into the world like a baby bird out of a nest, it's no longer yours. It is consumed by the masses.
And
And I've learned that there's no longer that suspension of reality when people are going to watch something or read something. So, like they used to, like people used to do back in old times.
the effects weren't as good back then. Now the effects are so good
Oh,
that
yeah,
people don't feel the need to suspend reality to believe it. They're like, "Yeah,
yeah.
this isn't a plunger in a trash can anymore."
Yeah, I think Jurassic Park was kind of like the end of that suspension of reality thing with those effects. All right, so um, does it matter which questions I ask, Julie? No. Okay. This is my first time actually doing this, so
Yay!
so which one of your characters would you trust with the keys to your car?
Ooh.
Conversely, which one wouldn't you trust?
I'd trust a good number of my characters with the keys to my car, actually. Um, Definitely Ethne and Darian from Rashawn series, Aram from Rashawn series. I would trust most of them. There are a few I wouldn't trust for the sake of just like, I don't know where the fuck they're gonna go. I don't know what's gonna happen. I would never trust Jocelyn with my car keys. She's she's very flighty. She's super cute, but no, fuck that. Mm-mm.
That's a good question. Uh, my main series, my main character Anthony, I would trust him. He's like a golden retriever. He would just be like, "All right, well, I got these keys. I'm not gonna do anything. I just gotta make sure that no one else tries to come and grab them." But one of his best friends, Nick, is a He's a stereotypical party boy. He's the mayor of the town's son, so he's definitely got that air of superiority. So he would just be like, "So you're giving me the keys to your car, so it's my car now. So let's go do whatever we want." His other friend Huck, his dad's a mechanic, so he may try and soup up the car, but he wouldn't have. He'd just be like, "All right, so they'll do this and this and this, and then the car may not run afterwards, but it would have some really cool rims." Uh, and then a different series that I have, my main character, Destin, he's not very good at reading people. So if someone were to say, "Here, can you hold these for a minute?" He would hold the keys and probably walk away and just have the keys and not realize why you gave them to him. So I probably wouldn't trust him because then I wouldn't be able to get home.
Okay. Wow. And since Julie's away, let me find another question. What's your worst fear as a published author?
Oh, I've actually never thought about that before. I don't live in fear, I guess is my
Yeah.
answer. I don't. I'm a
Fair enough.
yeah. I don't really have a worst fear. Because it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be, and do my best, leave the rest. That's it.
There
I
you
like
go.
that.
That's good philosophy.
I think I've probably done my biggest fears, so anything at this point is like, yay. When I first published, I didn't have my book formatted. I didn't have. Um, I crammed it all into one book, so it was a huge tome of a book. I didn't have a title page. I did so many things wrong with my first book that at this point, I'm just like, let's go with the flow.
I think we've all been there. I like to call that stage of early authorhood turtling because you're like a turtle on your back and you don't know what's going on, but you're out in the world.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I had a book and I was excited. And a author buddy of mine who became an author buddy of mine, he was like, "So here's some tips. Just gonna," and he was very nice about it. And he gave me some tips, and I have used every single one of them.
yeah. Yeah. That's the nice thing because the community is very collaborative, which is thank you,
Blessing. Yeah.
everyone. Past, present, future. Thank you.
Yeah, I've noticed like since I started writing, and I have gotten a couple of short stories published, but I haven't gotten my book
Mm.
done just because life's.
It does.
Um, Mainly I had a kid, and that kind of stopped everything. So,
Life.
but I mean, I love them to death. So, but do you listen to music when you write? And what would your playlist be if you do?
I actually have a playlist on my Spotify account for the Lost Speaking Chronicles if people want to I have the QR code in my books cuz since I do all my own page layouts, I could do what I want.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the back of the book, I have like next to my about the author page, I have a hey, if you like this series, you want to listen to what I listen to while I'm writing it, here you go. It's
Nice.
constantly being updated. So yeah, I do. I like noise, but I also like to write in cafes. So if I'm just in a cafe and it's the din of everyone else around me, that I just need background noise.
I've heard,
That's kind of how I am too.
I've heard a couple of different people do that where they'll have a Spotify playlist and either like by chapter have like this is the song you should listen to for this chapter to help enhance the
Oh,
themes
that's
that I'm going
cool.
for,
I'm not
right?
that specific. I'm just like, here is one QR code for the whole thing. That's good though.
Uh,
That's cool.
right? Like I don't do it because I don't have that I don't know, I just never thought about doing it, but I do have songs that I think of while I'm writing, but I like quiet when I write.
Mm,
But
Hmm.
a lot of Breaking Benjamin is my go-to. Yeah.
good band. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so a lot of their songs are influential for my writing. So as I was writing one of the climactic scenes in book 4, uh Motionless in White put out a new song, Afraid of the Dark, and my wife turned to me and she was like, "Oh my God, this fits your final chapters so well." And I was like, "It really does." So I listened to that ad on loop as I was writing that last climactic stuff. So I don't
Yeah.
normally listen while I write, and I need quiet when I write, but I do
Mhm.
have songs that influence my writing.
Okay, fair. I always have something going. Like sometimes it's not related. Sometimes I have like a playlist if I'm trying to channel like a specific character. I have one song that like for the battle scene in my book that I'm currently working on. Um, I play that thing over and over and over again because it kind of like catches like the whole vibe of it.
Mm.
So I totally get that.
Oh yeah, but believe me, the scenes that I write for certain things, people would never know what song that was. But I do have an entire series based around a particular group. But this isn't about me tonight, it's about y'all. Uh, so, if your book was turned into your series or your book was turned into a made for TV movie or a mini series or what was that? Who would your dream cast be?
So for me, I don't necessarily have live action actors I can think of because I think my series would do better as an animation. So an anime style story. And for me, there's so many great voice actors that would play roles like uh, Jung Young Bosch from the original Black Power Ranger. He does amazing voice acting. I can't remember his name, but he's the voice of Meliodas from the Seven Deadly Sins. I'd love to have him in one of my uh, stories. There's so many that I can think of, but I can't think of their names. I'm thinking of the characters that in my
It's
head.
like I know who they played. I
Yeah,
know which characters to pull up to get that person. But yeah,
yeah,
no, completely understandable.
but yeah. That would be my dream.
Mm. So yeah, I actually did years ago a casting call Instagram post for my Rashawn main characters because I had fun, and you think about it when you're so. I had Molly Quinn as Ethne. Molly Quinn, if you don't, so the daughter on the show Castle with Nathan Fillion, his daughter, that's Molly Quinn,
Love
and
that show.
that yeah, she just look, she just kind of embodies Ethne physically to me, and she's a very good actress, so she can definitely do whatever with her personality. I actually I draw, of course, and whenever I draw the character Darien, I always reference the Korean well, he's Korean American, but Daniel Henney, who is
Okay.
extraordinarily handsome and all these good things. And but I mean, he's got the right vibes. I cast him before he was ever on the Wheel of Time series. This Instagram post is like from 2017 that I'm talking about, but um, yeah, so him and then a Ram, uh, he's a pretty boy, and I always imagined him as like Latin or Persian. And Enrique Iglesias, 'cause he's so pretty, and he is Latin and Persian. His mother was
Ah,
Persian, I think, and yeah, and I was like, he just
Oh
I know
yeah,
he's
he's
done a few things with
gorgeous.
acting, but yeah, gorgeous. And that's Aram is constantly like we make fun of him for being the pretty boy, but he's also a werewolf. So, don't make too much fun.
It's pretty cool.
Let's see,
And
and
then
Jaws might come out if you get them too riled up,
yeah, yeah,
from what I've
yeah,
heard.
he's I mean, he's a good guy most of the time. And and then we have Jocelyn. And she is I don't have a specific actress for her. But they do need to be Latina because Jocelyn, I don't spell it the Spanish way, but it's just how you say Jocelyn in Spanish.
Mhm.
And so I spell it with a Y and stuff like that, and, just for reasons, I'm a writer, ooh. But, yeah, so she's spicy, friendly, happy, bubbly Latina with a dark side because she's half demon. And that's fun. And then the quirky wizard, who I called Tim because I am a Monty Python fan. I would have to give that to Sir Patrick Stewart. But that's my main casting call, at least for the first book, To Save a World. I thought about it.
We've thought about it. Well, I mean, most of us, when we're trying to, if we can't physically like put the character in our head, we have to have that visual stimulation. So we go look.
Well,
I unfortunately, when I write my characters, it's more like a dossier, so I know exactly who the hell they are and I know exactly what the hell they look like.
and I
And
was inspired from, do you remember from the 90s, the Wizard comics? That was the comics about the comic books? You remember Wizard?
yes,
Yes, they had casting calls in every issue.
Yes.
And I fucking loved it. And so that's what inspired me. I was like, "Oh, casting call."
Oh wow, that takes me
you know
back.
what? You are the first person to bring that up
Yes.
not only use that, but when you said it, I'm like, oh my God, I've talked about that. And everybody's like, that never happened. I'm sitting there like, it's not a Mandela effect. Too many of us freaking remember it.
Yeah, Spawn. Come
Yeah,
on.
no, it happened. It happened.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, Wizard comics were my jam. I loved Wizard. When I was a teenager, fuck yeah, that was my jam.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna catch up with the questions because Cash got a bunch. Who is the one character you've written that would not play nice? They wouldn't do as they were told. That they wouldn't go. They wouldn't go down the path. It's like no, they have to climb the tree. Who is the one character you literally had to put in like timeout type deal
Mhm.
while writing
Mhm.
that wouldn't cooperate?
So I've never had a character that I had to put in time out just because they do better at their story than I do. So my main female character, Desiree, when I originally started writing the story, I just had her as like the side character or the love interest. And as I was writing, her story became almost more compelling to me than my main character's story. So she ended up being the second main character, and together, the story came out from there. But I didn't want to put her in timeout. I wanted to give her a gold medal because she was just like exploded into this amazing character that I love to write, and she took up half the screen time because of her story.
It's amazing how side characters do
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Most of my characters would go in timeout.
that. There's
Um,
always like
they're like
they
me.
rile together. I swear.
Yeah, I'm very much and I do what I want personality. And my character like author like character. So yeah, the only character that Darian is my tried and true like he's a military man and he's very good at giving orders, but he's also good at taking them. And yeah, he's got that like very organized mindset. So he'll as long as it makes sense to him, I mean, he's very honorable and all these good things, but as long as it makes good sense to him, he will do it. He will follow through. But the others,
It is nice when you have that one character who you can rely on, like, they're gonna do what I really expect them to do, and the rest of the characters are just, like, controlled chaos where it's like, "I need you to do this.
yeah.
Alright, we'll go around that way, but can we get back to this? Okay, we're gonna go okay, but we finally got back to this." Meanwhile, that character's been sitting over there like, "I wish these guys would just listen."
Yeah, yeah. I heard
Kinda like herding cats.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
There was one I saw it was a meme from years ago, but an author was saying, "Oh, don't you love it when you plan everything out so perfectly chapter by chapter and then you sit down to write and your characters run off like feral children." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what happens."
Feral children with scissors.
Yeah.
Or then
Let's
you
not
have
forget they
background
all have
characters that
implements of what they all have fucking scissors in their damn hand. We don't know where the scissors came from. We don't wanna know where the scissors came from.
We just
my
hope they're not
favorites when
vegan.
sorry, I keep trying.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
My favorite is when a character is like, "You will write now, write me right now." Like they are not going to say no. They will not take no for an answer.
I've actually sent myself text messages because a character's done that to me, and I'm just like, okay, I need to write this note, scene, something down right now, otherwise it's not going to leave me alone.
I have definitely done that too because I'll be at work and I'll be like in the middle of helping someone because of course I work in customer service and in a store, and so I'll be like duck into the back real quick, go put it back in my pocket and run back out on the floor.
Post-its are friends.
Yes.
Well, that all depends on the brand of Post-it, because I have realized that the cheaper Post-its, while great for, carrying them with us, they become unsticky very fast,
Yes.
and they never stick to my dash the way I need them to.
Yeah.
And before I know it, I have an entire plot line running around my floorboard going, "What order did you go in?"
Beautiful chaos.
Beautiful chaos. We already asked the question.
Job title one. Let me see.
I have no idea what question you're talking about there. Uh oh, that one. That one. Yeah, no, we have not asked that question. Um from our comments, we have, if you had to compare your writing style to another job, what would it be?
Hmm.
As example, action reporter, uh archaeologist.
Okay. So so I have a bachelor's in philosophy, so I would probably consider my writing style philosophical. So if it was another job title, it would be philosopher. Uh, so I delve into, or a psychologist, either of the two, because I love diving into my characters' heads, and then I love giving them moral conundrums to puzzle out, or deep consequences to their actions. So by writing that, I have fun toying with that and how the repercussions affect them.
And yeah, I was gonna go with historian and or psychologist because I have no degrees in psychology, but I do love psychology and I like to study it. And yeah, because I also like to do that, and I still do my outlines like I'm writing a research paper because I wrote so many fucking research papers. And that's how I know how to format an outline.
Mm.
Mine is typically just, hey, did I remember to write that down? If not, I have to ask Izzy. Because Izzy is the keeper of what we call the Bible, which is
Mm.
the Bible to at least one of my series. And if I ever write anything that contradicts what I wrote already, she will be the one to throw the Bible at me. Very much will throw the Bible at me. So
She's very
that's
good
what
at that.
she is very good at throwing the Bible. Um, if your characters are okay, let me rephrase that. Which one of your characters are you afraid will have a psychotic break before it's time to write?
Every single one of them.
It's like,
I wasn't kidding. Like I torture my characters psychologically. I can speak. I promise. Uh, yeah. I've given them a few mental breakdowns Uh, and one that I don't want to give too many spoilers, but one of my favorite mental breakdowns uh has happened in book 4, and it was quite a spectacle, and it happens about midway through the book for this character, and the rest of the plot after that is them coping with that. Uh but that was most recent mental breakdown. It happens quite often.
Gotcha.
1000% Lucretia, who is the main character from my Lost Speaking Chronicles, the person who is an unwilling immortal, so forced to exist and wander the planet and go through these things, who was heavily traumatized. I cannot exaggerate that enough. And yeah, but the thing is, she wants to die, but you can chop her into tiny pieces and she won't. She'll just reform. So yeah, she's constantly on mental breakdown land, but it doesn't matter. She has to keep going. She does not have a choice. So yeah, she mental breakdown all the time.
Okay. Cash, you're next.
Okay. Yeah, so I am gonna do this question. You've been dropped into the universe of your book. Would you survive and how?
Um, so the Lost Beacon Chronicles, I want to say yes, quite frankly, because I'm a historian. And I actually do have some skills, like ancient skills. Like I can make fire. I know Egyptian bow drill. I have some survival techniques. I got this. I can make a yurt. I got this. Um and I know how to, so I'm not saying I'd be great at it, but like I know how to go like make rope for myself from the natural. I can do some stuff. Uh, and I do believe I would survive in the world of Rashan as well. It's, classic like medieval-y fantasy world, but with magic, of course. So yeah, I'm not saying I would excel, but I would survive in both worlds.
My answer, unfortunately, is boring because all of my stuff is urban fantasy, so it takes place on Earth in our modern time. So I don't know if I'm thriving, but I am surviving. So I think I do okay, unless I became the center of a supernatural war, in which case I would not do very well.
Hmm.
I mean, fair. Extremely fair. Um, what is the one thing that you believe in yourself is separates you from other authors of your
So for me, uh, I don't believe there's anything new under the sun. I believe that everything that can be written has been written, and it has been written, and it's our perspectives that make it different from anybody else. So for me, I don't think anybody has written my characters before. So I do think that my characters make it different for other people in the urban fantasy realm. I think that I have uh, maybe not unique backstories, but told through my perspective, unique backstories for my characters, and I think those elements make my stuff unique and probably something that you can find familiar, but definitely um, different enough to enjoy as if it's the first time.
And honestly, I would have to agree. That's I think most authors would agree about that, because and I'm gonna quote one of my professors, who he was talking about World War I at the time, but he said the most wonderful thing, which is everyone has a different point of view, but there's something we're all looking at. And I love it because he's
Hmm.
right. He's right. And he was, obviously referencing how different, sides saw different events, but it's true in every context. And that is the thing, like, no one else has Alfred's perspective. or my perspective, or Julie's, or anybody, or Cash, and nobody else sees the world through your lens, and so you're going to talk about things that other people might not notice. And I think that that's the beauty of it. Plus our imaginations, we get weird with it, like
Yeah.
we don't even realize we're getting weird with it sometimes. But then our loved ones read it and they go, "You okay? We need to talk. What's going on?"
I can honestly say from that point of view, my stepmother um recommended my book to a couple of people. And when they read it, they looked at my stepmother and was like, "Do you know what's in that book?" My stepmother is very ultra Christian. I write shifter,
Mm.
not shifter as an omega verse. I write shifter as in yes, they turn into wolves. Yes, they have the two different deities in them. Um, that kind of shifter. Like I have plot. Um, there may or may not be a sex scene that is described as a roller coaster ride because of where it started, and I didn't want it completely blacked out. But she's like, "Oh no, I just know she wrote a book."
Oh no.
My mom actually reads all my books, because
Oh,
I know she's actually my editor. She's my best editor. She's really good.
That's
I'm very
awesome.
fortunate. I get to pay her in like hugs and cookies and stuff because she refuses to take money from me, but I can bake, so it's fine. And but yeah, but she knows to or not to recommend my books to people. She recommends the Rashawn series a lot. She's a little stiffer on recommending Law Speaking Chronicles, and rightfully so.
oh, believe me, I completely understand that. My mom was my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader, my biggest. My mom was also my biggest why person.
That's a good person to have. You need
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Um. So upon her exiting the world, uh, she left Izzy in charge of that. And I think Izzy regrets it on a daily basis.
She's also very good at it,
She's very good at it,
whether she
and
wants to admit it or
but when
not.
that but when that gets turned, which goes into my next question, when people come to you with this particular idea or problem with their story, and they need just sounding board to get it out, what is your favorite question to ask them that will either trigger a thought or go with, "Will you just listen?" type reaction?
So for me, it depends on the situation. My younger sisters, they love to write too, and despite my harping on them numerous times, they have not finished a book yet. Uh, but they'll ask me a question just about a random character or something, and I try and phrase it in a way that takes them out of their story. So in general, if a character's having a hard time deciding something, I ask like, what do they want on their pizza? And just
Mm.
like get them thinking about what the character would do. Just randomly, do they like pepperoni? Are they one of the weirdos who like pineapple? Do they like plain cheese? I love pineapple on pizza. Uh,
Okay. Just like I was about
or
to say, look, we've had a great rapport this whole time.
I'm including myself with the weirdos. Uh,
I'm Italian,
Okay.
right? Like
I
literally.
am too. I am.
Oh, how dare you?
I know. I know. I know.
Hey, look, I put weirder things on pizza for odd reasons, but
But not to
pineapple was one of
derail,
those that actually made sense.
my birthday is coming up, and I asked my family for a traditional pasta roller because I want to start making homemade pasta.
Hey.
So I'm
Ooh.
excited for that. But yes, that's the thing I normally ask. Something off the wall, random that ties into what their problem is. Like, I don't know where this goes. Okay, well, if it was a perfect world, what would they be doing right now? And just to kind of
Mm.
get them more in, because they're focusing on the problem and that's their issue. They can't see past what the next hurdle is, and by taking them out of that but still letting them think in their characters' heads, it helps them approach the subject from a different perspective.
Mm. I love the pizza thing, actually. I'm gonna use that. So,
Please.
I will tell them that I got it from you, but I'm using it. And, but I honestly, I was, we all have our, like, non-writer lives to fully pay bills and things like that. So, I was a project manager for years, and I did a lot of research and things like that, like, with marketing and branding and blah, blah, blah. And, so I'll go kinda default mode, and one of the things is you do just ask the question, "Why?" You start with one main question, and they'll give you, like, one answer, but you know that they're not done yet, so you just go, "Why?" And then they go, "Oh," and then they'll go to another layer, and then you say, "Mm, why?" And then they go to another layer. And so I will do that kind of thing, but I think, as again, to echo Alfred, you do want to shift their perspective from the thing, like the explosion that is happening, versus your character's reaction to that explosion and that particular character's reaction, like, th they're not all, I mean, they all come from the author, but they're not all behaving like the author. So you have to shift it and go, "Okay, well, this is a five-year-old child that I'm writing right now. A five-year-old child does not perceive an explosion in any way, shape, or form like an adult does. They are very upset by the loud noise. They are not thinking about, is everyone okay? They are just thinking about, bad, 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 I hate this, or shiny, I'm so fascinated. Like, you have to put yourself in that person's shoes.
Worst case scenario, they're like, "Oh, my toy."
If the toy is involved, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if the toy is still in the building when it blew, "Oh shit, my toy." Like,
Right.
that is the most that they're, like, empathetic about, and it's mostly them just
Yeah.
I I love that, Hollis, because, like I said, I have a bachelor's in philosophy, and my entire life, I've always been that older I am the oldest brother, to tie into our older conversation. Uh, so, always asking them why, and always asking whys, which is why I pursued philosophy. So, I like that. I've used it only a couple of times, but I may have to lean heavily into that because it's so true. Like,
Yeah.
and especially if you're a sounding board, sometimes they just wanna vomit
Mhm.
their ideas on you, and just the why is such a simple question that'll get them thinking deeper. And, well, why did they go to the store? Well, I mean, he was hungry. Well, why was he hungry? Well, I don't know. Oh, he hadn't eaten in 3 days. Well, why hadn't he eaten in 3 days? Well, he was a prisoner. Well, why was he a prisoner? And so on and so on and so on. And you just build this story around it, and it gives more fuel to get to the next scene.
Yeah. And again, it works great for, right, but it also works great for market research, because when we were building brands for, companies, they would like, "Well, I like these colors for my logo." I'm like, "Okay, why those colors? Why green? What is it about green?" "Oh, we're money, like, we're a bank." And it's like, "Okay." And it's just like, yeah, and then you just kind of, but yeah, it gets them moving, and that's what you need.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Okay, we do have a question from the, audience. Uh, have you ever unintentionally overshared through your character?
Like
Maybe.
info dumping.
Mhm.
Um,
All it says is unintentionally overshared. So,
Yeah.
maybe info dumpy, or maybe something that happened in your life and then you made it through the character?
uh, Yeah, I think, in my book Reaper Society, it's a standalone, basically, outcasts of society take up the mantle of Grim Reaper, and they're actually the ones that go around and harvest souls. So you've got humans dealing with death on a much more intimate level than we're used to.
Mhm.
Um, so through that, I've probably overshared a little too much because I love Edgar Allan Poe. I've always been fascinated with
Mhm.
death, and Just the questions that arise from it have fascinated me my entire life. So I definitely dive heavily into that in that series, and I'm sure at some point I have overshared my own ideas and thoughts in that world.
Okay, there was a clarification in chat. Like the reader would know too much about you now, from
Yeah,
how your character actually behaves in the scene. So
yeah,
yeah, that
I'd
that actually
say
does work very well with
yeah.
that answer.
Uh, I don't know about well, yes, I guess, especially, the character Lucretia in Lost Beacon Chronicles is a lot like me. And, a lot. And, so, yeah, I definitely have and some of the negative reactive sides of me definitely have come out through that character. Um, so yeah, definitely some things, but I have the confidence of an 89-year-old man, so I'm good with it. I'm fine.
I love
I
it.
mean, fair, very fair. All right, Cash, you're up.
All right. Um. Oh, here's a good one from comments again. What are your favorite twists? Without spoilers, of course.
Not spoilers. Oh, crap.
Yeah, we're spoiler free zone as much as possible.
Yep. Okay, so let me vague this up for everyone. Okay, my favorite twists are the ones that I wasn't even expecting to write, I would say. So when the characters do run off like feral children and they do their thing and then all of a sudden you find yourself cornered, then this spontaneous inspiration comes and you're like, "Oh my god, they could do this." And it's something perhaps extremely clever or whatever, but those are the twists that I didn't even anticipate writing are my favorite for sure.
I love that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna mimic you this time because that's I've had a couple of those where like a random dream sparks something, or you've been stuck on this plot point and you're thinking and you're thinking and you're thinking, and all of a sudden the characters go off and do something. You're like, oh my goodness, how did I even? I didn't even think about that. And for me, as the author, thinking I know everything about the world, those moments are more fascinating to me than anything I could plan. Because I always feel like no matter I leave too many breadcrumbs or I don't leave enough breadcrumbs, but when it happens organically, I'm just like, this is brilliant. I love this.
Yeah, that's fun.
All right. Well, we're right here about the hour mark. So, uh, what questions would you guys like to ask us? And then we're gonna ask a couple more, and then we're gonna go ahead and end out for the night. Um, Mainly just because we've been at this for a minute, even though we have not been streaming now. So I just want to make sure that you guys are all still good. And so, what questions would you like to ask me and my lovely co-host over here?
So you guys have mentioned a little bit about you guys write. What is it that you guys write?
Okay, Kesh, you want to go first?
Oh yeah, I'm all over the board. Like I've written like fantasy, sci-fi, um, horror, kind of all coming into my book.
Pick a Saturday
But
and a time.
yeah,
We are eventually going to get Kesh published. It's like that is a bunch of our very main goal is to get Kesh published, and like the big books, not just the little short stories, but the big ones. Why? Because well, with the way she writes, we're gonna have door stoppers and be able to fend off criminals.
I can relate.
But her world is so rich that it needs all the words.
That's a
There you
good
go.
thing. That's a
It is
good
very much. Um, I am the author of Destined for More for the Four Queens for Four Kings series. Though a lot of them know the book as Rose's Story.
Mm.
Um, I write, and that is the shifter, like in mix up in that book. I typically write gearhead women. and women who have jobs that are outside what people would consider the norm, because I am the rebel at heart and this is what I do. I have that series, and then I have the Double Edge series, which is Crossroads is the first book that is out. They are all based or loosely inspired by Nickelback songs.
Nice.
Fun.
Crossroads is actually Far Away. And
Oh,
everybody's like,
oh,
no,
that's
it's
a
not.
good
I said, get to
song.
the ending. Get to the ending.
That's a good song. Yeah, yeah,
That is a good
that's
song.
poignant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now I have the first three in, well, I have Crossroads, which is out. Then I have Ain't No Cinderella, which is Shaking Hands. And then I have The Demon You Made, which is How You Remind Me. It
Mm.
was actually at one time Lullaby, but I'm like, it doesn't. As I'm getting into the developmenting of it and writing it, I realize it's not. It's not Lullaby. It is literally How You Remind Me. So the first three songs of the series, and it will be like three sections of a trilogy, all based loosely within the same characters. So the first three follow Piper, Nikki, and Dom, and a side character that got one little fucking mention. It's a throwaway line, and all of a sudden, I had a whole fucking character.
So
She's
there.
not even on page. She is literally a throwaway line from a prompt. I blame it.
So my
For
question is, I think it's a fun question. So we all have those moments as authors where we're going back, we're rereading what we wrote the night before or whatever, and we stop and we go, I, I wrote that? I am a very good author. I am a good writer. Good job. So when what passage or line gave you that little like
Oh,
pat yourself on the back. I'm so proud of myself. Look at me being a good writer. Did I really write that? I sure did, kind of moment.
oh. For me, I think that would have to be the battle scene in my book. I'm actually in the middle of editing it right now, and it's questioning my life choices right now with editing. Um,
I
but
don't think you're
no,
editing right if you're not questioning your life choice.
okay, so you're saying I'm doing it right,
You're doing it fine. Yeah. If you're not
but
questioning and possibly crying and then having to eat like a bag of Oreos, whether that be the minis or the entire big one, um, then I don't think you've done it right. I really don't.
okay. So yeah, no, but yeah, no, I'm very proud of how that turned out.
Mm.
It's just right now there's like now it's like I have to go back and go, okay, I have this whole dialogue thing where it's so and so said, so and so said, so and so said. So now I have to take the so and so saids out and do that. But yeah, overall that scene, I'm like really proud of it, and I'm hoping it translates well for people.
If you're proud of it, I'm sure it does.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Um, there is a line in both Crossroads and in Dustin. The line in Dustin is when she comes face to face with River, which is the lichen. And in my world, they're two species of the same bloodline. It just
Mm.
one fights on 2 feet, one fights on 4 paws. It's a whole big thing, and lichens are typically bigger
Mm.
than werewolves. Um, and Rose finally comes face to face with River after everything she's fucking been through, and this is her destined mate, and she no longer fucking wants him. And she stands 10 toes with him and says, "Reject me so we can both get on with our fucking." And everybody's like, that's a power dynamic that everybody sees coming from one end, but what he doesn't force her. He
Mm.
doesn't uh he interjects himself. Like, he makes it where it's hard to fucking ignore him,
Mm.
but he doesn't push her. He just he's just there. Like, eventually, she will get used to me or she will kill me. This is where we're at. Because there is a whole ass fucking prophecy that relies on Rose accepting River. Because
Mm.
if she doesn't, none of the four kings get their mate. So if Rose doesn't accept River, if Star doesn't accept Sebastian, the next one doesn't get their mate and doesn't even get the chance to find their mate. They could come nose to nose with them and they would never know.
Hmm.
And it's all to do with the prophecy about what happens at the end of book 4. Mind you, I got told in the middle of book 2 that there was something wrong with book 1, so I went back and started rewriting it instead of just finishing book 2. Because I'm that kind of writer. You can't tell me that there's something wrong and then expect me not to go back and fucking try to fix it. So that's it with that one. But there is a whole freaking line in Crossroads that prompted me to write a fucking chapter I never meant to write. I never intended to write that chapter. But I make a throwaway line about we don't talk about what happens in Mexico. She's got a tattoo on the back of her shoulder. And my Nikki, which is my main male character, has got one on the inner part of his arm. It's the same tattoo. It's a spade.
Mm.
And occasionally he'll reach up and touch it, or she'll reach back and touch it. And it's we don't talk about the promises made in the dark, we don't talk about in the light. And she's like, in that one drunken night in Mexico, which made me have to write what happened in Mexico.
Yep.
Those are the good times.
I wrote Crossroads on the Hold My Pen Propcast. Like, it was literally written out. It was my task for the year of writing a book out of order.
Oh,
Because I
Very
write
nice.
linear, and if I get stuck at a point, I will sit there and hound it until it basically has no taste, and I finally get over the hurdle. Izzy made me write the book out of order. So that's how we ended up with the Mexico chapter because of something that was said later in the book. So I had to
Mhm.
reference what the hell Mexico,
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
which was one of those 6,000 word chapters that Izzy now bans on our show.
That
All right.
Uh,
That was
I'm the
that.
one that
Well, you are the main one that got that.
I was
I've
the
done it
main
only a
traitor.
handful of times between Kesh and PA Powers, or PA Power. Those two were the diabolical that made Izzy have to put a. But okay, so here we go. Next question. What is one thing you wish your younger self and the upcoming newbies that are coming in to the writing world? What is one thing that you wish you were told that you didn't have to learn the hard? So the next generation could learn from that particular.
So I'm someone who believes that we are the culmination of our mistakes as well as our successes. So I wouldn't want to change anything that I've done because got me where I am. However, I do think that in and of itself would be something I would have liked to have heard. Uh, One, just be able to take your lumps. Like, you're not going to be perfect. So be willing to make the mistakes because you're putting yourself out there. And to tie that in, I write it in every book that I sign. Enjoy the journey, because it's the entire process. Especially as writers, we get so bogged down in wanting to finish the book, or wanting to get the edits done, or wanting to get it in front of us, that we can lose the whole scope of the entire project. Where you're creating a whole world, a story, characters, you're bringing people to life, and each process deserves its time. So take your time, enjoy the process, and be willing to take some of those negatives that come along with it.
Yeah, I would definitely echo that. I like you, Alfred, I'm also somebody who I'm good with what I've learned. I definitely made mistakes, but I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't learned those lessons. So I don't think I would personally do anything differently, but one of the major things I find is people don't have their expectations in the right places, especially when it comes to getting published. And as an indie, you just get self-published in an instant, it's which is great, but sometimes impatience and all these other things and they don't do have look at what it used to take to get traditionally published, not necessarily now because it's kind of a clusterfuck now, but look at what it used to take like in the 1980s to be traditionally published, and you will see that most authors, it took a good 5 to 10 years to get published for the first time.
Yep.
So kinda, understand where you sit in things and also respect your own rhythms. I tell people who ask me all the time, especially people who are writing their first manuscripts, I just say, "Listen, you're on your schedule. You're not on anybody else's timeline. Nobody's asking you for the next book. This is the first book. Take your time with it, do it right, edit until you cry at least 10 times, and unless you're fully happy with it, it shouldn't be going anywhere. But you're not on anyone's timeline but your own, because you'll be upset with yourself if you rush yourself for no good reason at all. And once you get a book out and people like it, then you're going to feel actual pressure to get the next ones out, which is positive in a lot of ways, but you have to manage your own timelines and expectations, and that's something I hold very true to. Like I will on my website and everything and in my posts, like when I give updates, I tell people, I'm like, listen, this is my timeline, and I will stick to my timeline, but I'm not rushing anything. So I will stick to my timeline, but here are the expectations, and that's it. But be realistic.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one from the audience. Have you ever written a scene that made you laugh, cry, or feel so hard you had to take a break?
So in the midst of writing book 4, uh, it did get me to tear up a little bit, and I don't cry or tear up when I'm reading. I definitely don't do it with my own stuff. So when I do, I have to take a moment and just be like, "What did I do here?" But the one that really got me was a book that I describe as the whimsy of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with the trauma of Neverending Story.
Ooh.
Uh, it's called Dream Tale. It's a middle grade to young adult age range. It's a young man traveling the world of dreams, saving other children from these dark creatures called scribbles. And I do something in that book that really made me tear up, and I was like, "Wow, that's kind of." It was that moment, Hollis, where I was just like, "Good job, good job." Uh, but yeah. So yes, I have done that to myself twice, and it's very rare that it happens.
Yeah, that's now I have to read that because that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
First and
Yes,
foremost.
but I'm like, I already lived through that trauma once. Do I have to live through the trauma again?
If you decide to write it down, yes, you do.
Yeah.
I have to get
The
that one for my son.
Yeah, oh, yeah. The first one that comes to mind for me is at the end of The Key, my most recent release, uh, there is a scene, and again, I'm not I refuse spoilers, but, the 2 main characters after a decade of not seeing each other, encounter each other again. And it's unexpected for both of them, and it's nothing like they just have this moment of closure that's extremely bittersweet. They went through a lot together. And there was and the way that they parted was um uncool. Not hard feelings uncool, but super uncool. And yeah, and they have this like this moment like leave each other at the end. You want them to stay together. They don't. But it's like I made myself cry. I reread it a few. I was like, and I'm not an emotional person in general. Alfred, I think you and I have a lot in common. I don't usually
It
cry
seems
at
that way.
books or movies. I have my feelings, but they don't come out in tears. You know, like that's just not my. Ever since I was a little kid, it just wasn't how I emoted. And I made myself cry, and I still get misty every time I reread it and editing and everything, like, I still missed it. I was like, "God damn it." And then, I felt that one pretty hard. So yeah, that and then there was another one in Spare the Swallow, which is the, first book of the Lost Beacon Chronicles. And this one was the other direction where I had to go take a shower afterward. I needed a break because I was writing the main villain in that book is a true sadistic psychopath. And they okay, trigger warning for what I am about to say. So extreme trigger warning. I am about to say something extremely awful. And this main character, who is a king, the main villain, he is in the middle of violently raping a slave girl, and then he gets some bad news that he doesn't like, and takes it out by beating her to death. Uh, and the guards outside the room just have to stand there and listen to the thudding of his fist into her face. And I needed a big break after writing that scene.
Oh.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah,
so.
I would say so.
Yeah. I needed shower. I needed like 3 days off from writing. And when my mother read that as my editor, she called me and she was like, "Hollis, I'm very concerned." It was like, I watched a lot of true crime. And I read a lot of psychology about extreme sadistic psychopaths. I'm okay.
Yeah, that is I give you a lot of credit for that, but that's part of the burden we carry as authors because like we said earlier, you want to make it realistic.
Yeah.
And if you have a vile human like that, putting shackles on them to restrain what the character is can hurt it in the end. And sometimes you have to just do the job and then take a break, like you say, go shower, feel better about yourself, and then sit back at the computer.
Go look into the eyes of your beautiful cat or dog and just see the innocence.
Yes.
Hug
Yes.
them. Yeah, and all those
And you need that eye bleach.
Yep.
Is
Yep. I need many like puppies and chickens and all of the pleasantries of life, pick some flowers, all of that. Yeah, that was, but it's, yeah,
Need
like
it.
I said, I'm honest about atrocities in my writing of the Lost Beacon Chronicles, and so
Yeah, when I do stuff like that, it's like I go find pictures of sloths and goats in pajamas, like particularly baby ones, because it's like you got to find something to counteract all of that.
yeah,
I
there's
love
this
the
meme that's super old, but it's just a meme, and it just says, "I heard you were feeling sad, so here's a picture of a bunny with a pancake on its head," and it is quite an adorable photo.
Aw,
I
that
love the
sounds adorable.
pictures
Yeah.
of if you've ever seen like a red panda that's scared and it just puts its hands up. They are so
Oh
adorable.
my gosh.
Ideas for palate cleansers,
There you
bonus
go.
content.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Shit, I had a question. Just jumped. I think we've already covered most of it. Like I'm scrolling. I was like, I have my list over here. Like when I'm like, I can't think of something off the top of my head. So, um, when you're done, do you get when you're like done with the story? You're before you start editing, or even after you're done editing. Do you feel that shock, like that, what we call book hangover?
Uh, Not really, but I think it's because of what I do. So after I finish writing one story, I will jump to another series and start writing that. So every time I come back to something, I feel super fresh. So I
Mhm.
if I do have it, it may be what inspired me to start doing this, but I haven't noticed it when I'm done writing a book. I feel like, okay, this book is done. I want to write this story because I'll write two or three stories in a year, and then the following year I will spend the time editing them. Um, so I can put out multiple books a year, but it's normally like a 2 year process that I can do that. But just because I jump from series to series, I don't normally feel that. Um, but I could see maybe that's why I jump from series to series to not feel that.
Mhm. I actually do again, we're very similar. I do very much the same thing. So, my timeline is a little different, like, I generally put out 1 book a year. So but I will, like, for right now, I am currently wrapping up the first draft of the next book in the Histories trilogy, the Rashawn Histories, trilogy, which will come out March 2027. But woohoo! Uh but I am also just beginning my next book in the Lost Speaking Chronicles, which is of course a hard shift in themes and everything else. But I think that that helps me from having that book hangover. It just kind of keeps me, and it keeps us on target, you know? It keeps us rolling the series out in a timely fashion, and then our readers don't get very angry.
All right, Cash, one more question, and then
Hmm.
one more question from you, and then we're gonna do our last one for the night.
Um, which do you find easier, writing or editing?
Writing. That for me, quick answer, writing 1000%. Though I will add, I so I need more content editing. I am a certified TEFL instructor internationally, teacher of English as a foreign language. So like grammatically, I'm very much on point. I naturally write really correctly as far as that's concerned. So, um, unless there are typos, I really just need content editing. Thank goodness for me. But yeah, the writing is 1000% easier.
I think it's the first time we've differed tonight. I editing is my favorite. I find it the easiest because I don't have to worry about the story being written. It's there in front of me, so now I can attack it and make it better. I've described it as like having I don't sew, but I imagine it like having a tapestry or something you're sewing, and you just got a
Mhm.
couple of pieces of string that you could just start pulling, and the image comes from this blurry blob into an image as you pull those strings. So
Mm.
that's how I view editing. I like that one more.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay, and you know what? It varies for a lot of people. I've had people literally say that it's the plotting part of it. It's the
Mm.
pre-writing that is actually their favorite. It wasn't even part of whether it was writing or editing. It was literally like, no, the plotting. Plotting was my favorite because I didn't have to do much except for answer a couple why questions and move my ass along. Like, understandable. All
Growth
right.
and milestones.
Are you guys doing events this year? And if so, where will you be located?
So I do a lot of events every year. I am not like the most event happy person. I don't do one every weekend, but I try and do 2 to 3 a month. This year I am expecting my second son, so I had to cut back some of my thank you. I had to cut back some of my events, but the next one I am going to be at is at the end of this month. It is a traveling convention put on by Grimoire Academy. It's the Gothic Market. This is year it's going to be in Cartersville, Georgia. The closest one near me. They do one every month. But the closest one near me is going to be in Cartersville, Georgia, and then I am finally able to go to Dragon Con, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, this year. So it'll be the first time I'm at Dragon Con. So those are my next two events. But I'm always traveling the Southern United States. I went to Dragon Steel last year, which was awesome. So I'm always at going to events.
Very nice. And so I will be at MomoCon the anime convention this coming Memorial Day weekend, and then right after that I'll be at Con Carolinas the weekend of May 28th. And then I am taking summer off. Last year I did 14 like events a lot of them were 3-day cons, and I was very, very tired. So I'm not doing
I
that.
would imagine.
We just did Green Bay last year, and I think we were hung over for 4 days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, I'm also again, like I think I mentioned in the Green Room, I'm a former professional cosplayer. So I used to be a mascot for a Japanese animation company in my late teens, early 20s. So like the con circuit isn't something I'm unaccustomed to, but I'm also in my 40s now, so my body doesn't like this anymore. It's, so there's that. But and then after that, my next definite event. I'm not sure if I'm doing Dragon Con this year. I've been doing Dragon Con since 1996 as first as a cosplayer for many, many years. And then yeah, I'm tired and it's a lot of people, but it is a lot of fun. And Alfred, you're gonna have so much fun. I'm not sure unless a friend of mine who has a booth cajoles me into it. I'm not doing it. I'm staying home. So, and then I'll be at Multiverse. I'm a guest and panelist and blah 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 and vendor at Multiverse in October, and then I'll always be at Conjuration. Oh, and I'm at the Georgia Indie Book Fair in September. And then I have like a Dahlonega Literary Festival also in September. But yeah, MomoCon and Con Carolinas are the next two.
I gotta ask, are you familiar with an author, Ben Meeks?
Oh yeah, that's who I have. I love Ben. Do you know Ben?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's Ben and I are sharing a booth at MomoCon.
Well, when you said MomoCon, I was like, oh my God, Ben's gonna be there. And then you were like, Carolinas, Conjuration. I'm like, because the con circuit is so small when you really start to look at it. So I was like, I gotta ask. So yes, I love Ben. I'm gonna be in his booth at Dragon Con.
Yeah, so and I'm with Bob and Ben, Bob Magoo, Ben Meeks
Huh?
at
Love Bob.
MomoCon, and I'll see them at Con Carolinas for sure. Oh my god, okay, we need to hang out because like we have the
We
same
absolutely
friends.
do.
Yeah, Bob and Ben are fantastic.
See,
They
that's
are
what we do around
next
here. We bring people together.
That
People
is
that you would
funny.
never think was like, no, we've been just hovering around each other outside each other's circles for a minute. All right. Stormy here is telling me that it is time to end the show. So everybody, thank you so much, and especially big thanks to our authors for being here and hanging out and understanding that we don't do a friggin' thing on time, but we got it done. We got live, and that's all that freaking matters. Um, also, or thank you guys so much for being here. We couldn't have done this without you. And thank you to our tech support Viking for getting us live because, again, he knows what he's doing and we do not. We are learning, but we do not know what's going on. Either which way, um, please join us tomorrow night over here, still on Twitch, for the Hold My Pen podcast, where we will be reading out this week's prompt. Kesh, do you happen to have this week's prompt pulled up? I can pull it up real
No.
quick, but you don't?
Yeah, I don't.
Hold on one second. I got it.
Can
This
pull it
week's
up
prompt:
real quick.
a moment of kindness leads to an unintentional and unintentional and irreversible consequence. That is this week's prompt. I eventually will lovingly bully one of our authors into writing for the show. If anything, just as a hey, this is what I do. This is where you find my work, kind of thing. Because eventually, that's what we're going to do. Will I ever succeed at it? I don't know. I can't keep doing it. People said I wouldn't succeed at this. Here I am. 3 years later, or at least we're on season 3. So here we are.
Because of the show, I
Otherwise,
started writing again.
yes,
Ooh.
I have lovingly bullied, and I do mean this quite literally. I have lovingly bullied 14 people that regularly write for our show. Those that didn't think they had the talent, didn't think they had the time, or honestly, they're like, why would I do this? It's like it's not any good. And I'm like, well, let us be the fucking
Yeah.
like you won't know until you get it in front of somebody. And now uh the Chimera Clan is done. This is all PA power, by the way. The Chimera Clan is done. Decoding Shady Pines is done. Uh, Kingdom of Shadows, which was written on our show, and then we ended up with, or he ended up with a narrator. And now it is an audiobook, and it is out. By the way, everybody, rush over to Audible, get it, or wherever you find your audiobooks, because I did think he went wide with it. So there's that. Um, Kingdom of Shadows is a dark retelling of Peter Pan, and it will hit you in the feels something fucking awful. And the narrator in which does it, chef's kiss. That's my jam right there. KJ was very much, and I got to meet her at Sinful Signings. I was Patrick's PA for Sinful Signings. So I got to meet the narrator. I got to meet a lot of narrators that I work with on a daily basis. I just finally got to meet. I actually got to see him in person. So it's an amazing thing. Uh, so everybody, please show up tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Adjust your times accordingly. If you are writing for the show, it needs to be in by 3 p.m. Central Time, unless you have notified me, Izzy, or one of the mods that it's going to be late. Please don't make me track you down. I already have enough problems with the paperwork. Because I am the one that does paperwork on the back end. Everybody else does the technical crap. I do paperwork. It's fine. Otherwise, don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. If you get your ass arrested and it wasn't for a good reason, don't fucking call me and no, I'm not putting money on your commissary. Don't end up in the freaking hospital. And unless you want to be changing diapers in, 9 months, wrap your damn tools. Otherwise, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. And we will see you tomorrow night on the Hold My Pen podcast. Bye.